Otherwise, we get a fuzzy sheep. Sheeps are usually fuzzy.
Fair. It's just being on brand. Yeah.
Just saying.
I just saying I'm sheep.
Time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome everyone to episode 233 of Born to be Wild, a wild and wild adjacent Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the wild formats of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the wild community. I am your host, ElectricSheepCity. It's great to be back this beautiful Friday evening here in Kickin' Rad, Colorado. I am joined by fellow host, Schmoopydady.
It occurs to me that 233 is a big number, and I don't have enough fingers and toes for that.
For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs, and the video version of this podcast is posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all of the podcast apps. So however you are watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
Content plug, Schmoopydady. Before getting to the main topic of the show tonight, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we've got some awesome emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. This is free if you use Amazon Prime. Finally, if you'd like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We have some channels in the Discord that are unlocked by subscribing to the Patreon where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. If you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord, a free and amazing online community of friends from all across the world who love talking about Wild Hearthstone. Links to all of this stuff and more, including our merch, can be found on our website, which is www.borntobewildhs.com. Sheep, how's your week?
I had one of those. First off, I was like diving into this class. I've said a number of times that it's been a doozy of a class, right? Like week one, like we had my son's birthday party and we did it a week early so that we could like do it then because there's no way that there was going to be an assignment then. And it, all to say, this one was a very heavy workload class. The final paper was due last Sunday. I still have one more discussion post, but like I could get a 0 on it and I already have an A. So like with all of that work, that is a sigh of relief, my friend. With all of that, work drama nevertheless persists as well. There is a ton of stuff going on there. Again, I am not at all the center of it, but it is leading to a lot of work my way too. What can you do? Work's busy. Hearthstone, however, has been a lot of fun. So I've been playing a decent amount of Twist whenever I get the chance. So ladder reset for Twist was a couple days ago. So for those of you who are unaware, it is no longer XL Wonders. Now we are like the Wonders plus Ungoro. So FYI, plug.
Did it reset the right time? Wasn't it supposed to reset kind of like not on the first and then it...
Yeah, no, it reset when it was supposed to. So it did not reset on the first. It reset on like the 4th, I think it was.
Got you. Okay.
Which was when it was supposed to, but there was not like any in-game pop-up or anything like that. I haven't really seen a whole lot of discussion about it like on the socials, but I also haven't really been on the socials with all of the stuff I've just been talking about. So, what little discussion I have seen on Discord about it has been like, oh, that's a cool deck. And then responses are, wait, there's a new Twist season? So hence the, hey, y'all, guess what? New Twist season. The deck list that I made, like, as I've been playing it, I'm like, oh, I need to take this out and put in this. And then I just proceed to not do it because I'm playing like a game or two in between, like, you know, getting home and like changing clothes and doing all that before going back and like being with the kiddo. So definitely need to do some refinement on that. But the archetype itself is strong enough that it's still winning games, even though it's a totally unoptimized list. So Twist has been a lot of fun.
At least you're having fun, right?
Yeah. And you know what? I feel like that's been the hardest part about Twist is just getting a game. So again, awareness. It's there. More people that know, hopefully the more people that play, because y'all, it's a new season. Come on. Schmoopydady, how has your week been, my friend?
It's been okay. We had a snow day on Thursday. It's our first snow day of the year, which is kind of incredible to consider that we've got it all the way to February on the East Coast and not had a snow day. My school in particular is a little bit like, it's in a funny place in the state where we're a little bit sheltered and we're also a little bit close to the Hudson River. So there's a lot of factors that it's just like where my wife's school will be getting snow or my son's school will be getting snow and they'll be having a snow day. I'm going in and I have a full day because like it's just rain where they are. So like there's a lot of like funny factors. I actually have an assignment that's about, I do a bunch of little one-off like standalone assignments where it's just like, okay, how hard is it to predict the weather and why do we not understand like percentages or why are weather percentages misleading? Like, for example, I don't know if we've talked about this on the show already. I think we might have, but I'm just going to rehash
I think we
real
might
quick.
have too, but it may have been like a pre or post show discussion. So
Right. So like we're looking at like a 50% chance of precipitation can mean either there's a 100% chance that a certain area is going to get covered 50-50, or it could mean that at any one point in an area, there's a 50-50 chance you get weather. So like depending on where you are and what your perspective is, it can be two very, very, very different experiences. Like there's a 100% chance that half this place is going to get weather versus like, maybe the whole place gets weather, maybe it doesn't. And they're displayed the same way and it's very misleading. So like just like little things like that. So we got our snow day, push come to shove. Right now, Schmoopy is off of Pokemon almost entirely at the moment because he caught all the legendary birds in Fire Red and Soul Silver, and it's just like, that's it. He's like, well, I caught everything that's big. I don't really care anymore. I'm like,
I'm done
bro,
with this game.
like, why don't you restart your profile? He's like, why would I do that? Like, I don't want to erase my stuff. It's like, you gosh darn hoarder. Anyway, so now he's playing like this like Angry Bird game where it's not Angry Birds. It's like he's on the pigs side and it's on his Kindle and he's like building little carts and he's trying to get the pigs to the end of the and it's there's like, you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember? Was it called like The Amazing Machine or the Incredible Machine?
Yeah, where you're basically setting up this Rube Goldberg style machine with all of these different like parts and trying to get a ball to a certain spot, but you have to incorporate different specific elements. I loved that game. That was so much fun.
It echoes that in a lot of ways. So like there's a lot of engineering, there's a lot of trial and error, there's a lot of like sometimes you just like jerry-rig stuff and it works out and it's clearly not the way they intended it to work, but it's the way that you made it work, so it works. So like he's doing that and he's having a lot of fun with that, and it's like it's fun because again the physicsy part of me is just like sometimes he's just like, Dad, can you try? And then like I'll come up with an idea and he's like, oh wait, I like how you did that, I'm gonna try that now. So he has a lot of fun with it, and he'll go back and he'll do like, I'll beat a level and he'll go back and he'll do a level so that he's done it himself. But also he'll go back and do old levels just to kind of like for the fun of it. Like he's having a lot of fun replaying it, and like that's cool that he he has something that's engaging like that. Back to Hearthstone stuff. I got day 1 Legend with extra large Shadow Priest. I had a pretty fast climb. Thank you. Considering the previous month's climb with 11x, I was like 37 and 46, which was a brutal. Like, it's an entire day of like up, down, losing streak, mini winning streak, longer losing streak. To go so quickly, basically I hit at like noon or like 11:30 my time. Like I woke up at like 7. So like within 4 hours I was in Legend. And then what's cool about when that happens on day 1 is it's like, okay, mommy and I can stop ignoring our kids and letting them fend for ourselves, and now I can interact with it a bit more. Right. And so like it's like I'm kind of joking, but I'm also kind of not. Like we're like, no, this is just gonna happen the first of every month. They're just gonna have to figure it out. They're pretty good. Schmoopy can feed himself.
Kids are resilient.
They are resilient, and daughter does a really good job of entertaining herself. Like as needy as Schmoopy was at the same age, she's the complete opposite. Like she'll be making pillow forts and watching her show, and like, you know, she'll just be doing all sorts of stuff where it's like she doesn't even really need TV if she doesn't want to. She can just like start wandering away from something and just start doing something else. So like it's cool, but it was cool to get it done that quickly because it's like then I'm not grumpy that long, and all is good. As far as like streaming goes, I had the weirdest thing happened last night. Last night I got spam attacked. Somebody was like doing accounts and all saying the same thing, and then they started saying no things. So it's like, okay, so we just like, you know, you turn on shield mode or whatever and you get rid of that. But then they were still figuring out a way to like to like spam follow me. So like out of nowhere I gained like 5k followers in the matter of like hours, and I'm like, Twitch, I didn't pay for these. I don't want these. You can take them. I reported what I could. I've been told by other streamers like Otters and Raffle like not to really worry about it. Eventually the accounts will get hunted down and banned, and when they do that, like the follower count should go down. I had kind of stopped keeping track of followers once I hit 1k, because like once I hit 1k it was just kind of like, oh well, like now it's kind of like it doesn't even tell me what the exact number is. When I look to the page it's just like 1000 point whatever, and then it rounds. So it's just like, all right, well, so I stopped really like paying attention to that. And so I liked being able to look at it once in a while and be like, hey, I did that myself. But now it's just like sort of like this abomination of like, that is a grossly inflated number, sir. I would like that deflated, please. But you know, again, like Otter said, like they do a good job of like not blaming the streamer on that one. I had nothing to do with it. And again, the person
reported
was saying,
immediately, like you.
Yeah, I mean, the person was
are doing what you.
Yeah, I mean, they can look back at the data, they can look back at the stream, they have everything they need to like go and see. It's like, oh, yeah, this was unintentional. But it was like the same time that it was happening, more critically. Like the no stuff is like whatever. Like that is water off a duck's back. Like I've heard worse in my classroom and had to deal with it. So like whatever. These are people whose identity.
You're saying things just trying to offend people. Like that's
right. It's like whatever. I've had like
move on.
I've had actual like everybody knows everybody's identity and they're still saying these things. Like that's a problem. Like I've had to deal with that where it's just like, okay, no, I got to step in and do something here. It's what was actually sending me and like causing panic was, for whatever reason, because I had to turn off the follower alert, because again, 4.5k followers in the span of like 20 minutes until we figured out how to stop that from happening.
Yeah, you pause that.
you pause that nonsense. It meant that my feed for deck submissions and viewer decks and song requests and stuff, for whatever reason, that was changing to the point where like it would be there for like 2 minutes and then it'd be gone, and then be there for 2 minutes and be gone. And I'd be like, no, I don't move fast enough for that. And then somebody in chat's like, well, why don't you just copy paste it and put it on a clipboard? I'm like, I'm not doing that. No, that ain't happening. I can't interact with chat and play and DJ and I suck at like 3 of the things that I'm doing right now. I can't afford to suck.
You only
even more.
listed 3 things.
I can't add a 4th thing to that, and then like thus decrease how well I do any of the things. Right? Like I'm barely talking to people when I'm like trying to spam Discords, being like, "Hey, I'm live." So yeah, I that was a little bit, that was more unnerving than the whole experience of like, hey, you're getting spammed. It was like, no, my feed's not working. Then my feed started working right, so now we're okay. But I was panicking for a moment. That was just like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to completely change the mechanics of how I do my stream. And that was my week. So that was we're
if this ever comes up again, you can pull up just the requests like portal by typing in /requests, and I know that it needs to be cleaned up.
It looks like hell. Yes, because I don't clean it. Yeah, I don't clean that. So that's like
the last time I had to refund somebody something, I was like, oh yeah, I haven't been keeping up with this either. So
no, and like NHL was NHL fan and Tom and whoever was there modding was like doing the best they could. They were like banning accounts left and right. I'm like, oh man, you guys are awesome. And NHL figured out like shield mode, basically shut it down. I already had like requires email addresses, like verified email addresses. Somehow that was still not getting through. But whatever, we figured it out. And if I need to do it again, I know what to do. So, but I guess in a way it's kind of funny because it's like, hey, you're big enough, somebody's bothering to do this to you. So
right? like
it's kind of a compliment.
Kind of affirming.
it's kind of messed up and twisted, but then again, I just stream Wild, so like, yeah, all right, par for the course. That's fair.
That's the baseline.
That's the base. Yeah, it's just like, you know, I've noticed having branched out into other chats that like I immediately go in there and start posting and like people think it's funny, but no one else is doing it. I'm just like I'm just like this subhuman force that has just crawled into the chat. Meanwhile, I go to a Wild chat and like everybody's like that. Everyone is doing the exact same thing, where nobody is serious. Everybody like I generated a Mechathune as like Conjurer's Calling Mage this week. And like the first thing that came out of my mouth when I realized that a Mechathune was on the board was just like, look, chat, alternate win con. And I got a comment on YouTube that's like the alternate win con comment sent me, because you know, like the minute you see that
was my like, first thought was like, I want to do that.
the minute that thing hits the board, every single Wild Twitch chatter is like alternate win con. Right, and like you just want to be the first one. You're like, ha, you guys are nerds, right? Like, so like that's just like the general vibe. And so like when I got raided into a different stream, like Reese was here. He was playing Wild. It was Wild. It was Wild Wednesday for him, and he was just like, oh yeah, I'm playing Big Shaman. I got a really good win rate. Yeah, Schmoopy, what did you hit Legend with? And I was like, oh, I drooled to Legend with Shadow Priest. And Reese was like, you drooled. You drooled to Legend. Are you sure that's the adjective you want to describe? You drooled. So at Shadow Priest, and he speaks really fast and really quick, and like, and I think he kind of sounds like a tri-state guy, and so he's like he's like sure, I mean, all right, yeah, you drooled. So Shadow Priest exhibits drool, and I'm not sure like which part to like which question or statement to address directly, which made it like, because I'm like trying to like type, but like he's speaking faster than it's like, so you drooled, all right, so you drooled till, and I was like sorry, we have very we have very deprecating humor in the Wild community. Yeah, so like the idea is that aggro is easy to play, and he's like, oh okay, yeah, right, okay, gotcha. But like, yeah, it's a culture shock when you release yourself into the Wild someplace else. So that's always fun to experience.
I entered Twitch in the kind of like more standard centric communities, and I was always electric sheep posting, right? Like,
Right. Yes.
everyone's just like, oh yeah, like that's just sheep. That's what he does. And then whenever I encountered the wild community, it wasn't just like, oh yeah, that's just what sheep does. It was just like, oh yeah, that's just what we do. And it was like, oh,
Sheep's like,
found
home.
my sheeple.
I'm
I'm
home.
home.
Perfect.
Exactly. So, love that we found our spot.
What's the news this week, Sheep?
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
Well, first off, the season of Twist reset on February 4th, and it is now the Wonders plus Ungoro format. Can't remember what they call it, but we already talked about
That one.
this thing. Play Twist. It's fun.
Please, for Sheep.
For me.
So he
Y'all.
can queue into somebody. Please. He's still in queue, guys. He's still in queue.
We've been recording the video for 40 minutes. It was a while before we started, so like just the actual starting of that. And I'm going to edit some stuff out. That's normal stuff. I'm still in queue, y'all. I'm still in queue.
Chat. Let him out.
Play Twist. The first
Play
part
Twist.
of news is you are going to play Twist right now while you're listening to this. Not if you're driving.
But also if you're driving.
Next, and if you're driving, start queuing a game by the time you get there.
We'll take it at this point. 20 minutes later, you'll find Sheep. You'll be at your destination. It'll work out great.
So patch 31.4.2 has also hit. So what has happened in patch 31.4.2, Sheep? Well, glad you asked, invisible person. The first thing is that they nerfed / unbanned Nexus Prince Shafar. So, but back in the day, Nexus Prince Shafar read, give a minion in your hand +3/+3 in this spell burst. We're familiar with that one. We did broken shenanigans with Nexus Prince Shafar. It was fun. The new one is, give a minion in your hand +3/+3 and this spell burst, unless it already has this effect, so it can't double up.
Hydra's the
Boo.
invisible person, he says. Yeah, this basically kills this card in Wild. Like, we had a fun, like, tier 1 hunter deck where we were popping this sucker on Zerglings and popping this sucker on Whoppertingers and just generally just going bananas, and we can't go bananas anymore. Unlucky.
Sad.
Maybe we'll get it back when they rotate it, maybe. Copium.
I can see that one being in the cards, as it were, for unbannage. Also nerfed is Photographer Fizzle. So previously, Battlecry, take a snapshot of your current hand and shuffle it into your deck. And now, both the snapshot and the Photographer Fizzle himself read once per game. So the standard was doing this thing where they were playing Photographer Fizzle and then they were playing the Triangulate, I think is what it was called. I'm still mostly playing on my phone, and the Pixel still has the bug where the titles of the
He's
cards.
just guessing at this point.
I know what the cards do. I know what the picture looks like. I just don't know what they're called because I'm not reading the title.
Yeah, sure.
So, anyway, they were playing Triangulate, I think. And
Triangulate, or they were doing Zola Fizzle, or like every class could do Zola Fizzle. A hunter could discover
extra copies,
multiple fizzles off of ETC. Like there were just sort of shenanigans going on where people were going infinite in multiple classes.
Yeah, and getting a lot of those big payoffs and multiple times, which twice, okay, you did the setup for it. There's the payoff. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, like, yeah, they cut that off. That's a thing for us in Wild. Standard can't handle that.
It's so weird too, because honestly, like I thought that kind of gameplay would appeal to a certain, type of player, especially since like the whole style I think was popular in part because the Chinese player that won Worlds made it popular. Basically, like just like brought 4 decks that were all sort of going infinite and did it masterfully, including like one warrior game where his only win con was basically he was gaining more armor than fatigue could kill him, and so Rekfam was just sort of left there, just absolutely perplexed as this guy gained like 100 armor or like plus a turn, right? As and just sort of spammed photographer like snapshots. It was kind of like awesome to see. So I was a little surprised that they did hit this, but at the same time, apparently there was some crazy notion that people didn't want to sit down for 35-minute games every game. I don't know what that's about. But the dead man's hands bros are probably shaking their fists. I actually don't hate this nerf that much for Wild, because if I want to use this, let's say in something like Skipper Warrior, which I've used it in the past, I was only using Fizzle once anyway to snapshot my Odin, so that if my Odin got ratted or stolen, I had some backup. And so, like, ideally, I'd have, like, a little bit of skipper fuel in there and also Odin sort of to the far right. So if I needed him, great. If I didn't need him, I could just cut him off. So, like, this doesn't really affect Wild at all. But, like, it is kind of funny that, like, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. People were just like, no, end Fizzle. It's so inefficient and greedy, but, like, it became part of the meta game. It's so funny.
Right? Like, I haven't seen a Kill Jaden in Standard in forever because people switched back to the Fizzle shenanigans. So, since I've been playing after the nerf, I haven't, like, experienced any Kill Jadens. I haven't been KJ'd since then. I think people forgotten, and I'm not complaining.
Oh, I like KJ. I like KJ a lot. They made it harder to get KJ in Arena, though, which is sad.
Yeah.
KJ just got busted in Arena when you can just sort of discover KJ and coin him out on 6.
Glorious. So to put a bookend on our nerf discussion, be sure to go into your collection and type refund to just see all of the nerfs, how you can be compensated for those things. I typically keep my golden ones because, like, you mentioned Schmoopy being a hoarder earlier.
Same.
I am a hoarder as well.
I keep playable Goldens.
Yeah, playable Goldens. So, like, if I have 3 Goldens, that one goes. But, yeah, all of the OGs go away as well. So, go into the collection and claim that dust. But not only did we have nerfs. Oh, my friend, we had a buff.
Oh, man.
And that buff was to Void Ray.
Can I get grumpy about this?
You can, but let me say what it is first. So it used to be a 3-mana 3/2, Rush Divine Shield, Battle Cry. If this costs 0, gain +2/+2. It's a Protoss card. That's how they do it. The new one is it gained a health. It's now a 3/2. Schmoopy, take it away.
Yeah, this was met with widespread ridicule by my estimation, like, kind of for good reason. Like, the way it was packaged in the patch notes was, this is a buff that spans across the entire Protoss class. No one was playing this card. The one class that could randomly generate it was Priest. Weirdly enough, like, I've played it unironically in my deck a couple times before it got buffed, and I thought it was an okay card. Like, if you could get your Protoss stuff down to 0, like, as a 3/1, it was already, like, okay, because, 3/1 rush for 5 with a Divine Shield, it lives to smack face a lot of the time, and also you can make a copy of it that also has Divine Shield that can live and smack face even if it takes double damage. Like, it seemed fine. It seemed like they almost are. It's in this really messy spot where, let's say this is good. they just created another Wild Paw Knoll for seemingly no reason. Let's say it's bad. Why bother? I think the real reason that this buff happened is because they could give it 1 health and nothing would really change, so they decided to give it 1 health. But they packaged it as, this is a buff across the Protoss class. And the thing is like, the community is stupid sometimes, but the community isn't that stupid. So like, it's kind of like, this was just sort of like, okay, Void Ray meta, guys, Void Ray meta. And it's just kind of like, come on, man. Like, we're not that dumb. So that's me getting grumpy about this, where it's just like, of all the things, plenty of people wanted a lot more buffs. I don't play enough standard to like accurately tell you like what is good there. Other people wanted way more nerfs. I keep hearing Dungar thrown around as just like, please God, and Dungar, please. I'm sure he's going to get shot in the kneecap at some point. I don't know. But like the Void Ray ends it. What are you going to say, Sheep?
So it seems like to me, sometimes buffs are like, hey, we want to make a card like playable. Sometimes it seems like a buff is like, hey, this card was already kind of good and this like archetype or whatever is kind of underplayed, or, you know, it's an underplayed archetype and this card may get people to just kind of like sniff at that archetype. I think that this buff was kind of more one of those, because in my kind of standard play, I was seeing some like fringe play of Void Ray. Like it was seeing some play in the, you know, Protoss decks, but not all of them. And so I think this was more just kind of like a, hey, look over here. But whenever the buff is that minuscule, are you really getting people to look over there? Like, if that's the goal of the buff, which I don't know if it is, but like that's kind of what it seems like it was. If that was the goal of it, then I don't think that the result was probably achieved with that. Other people might be doing that with the nerfs, but that's basically just made a meme.
I mean, it feels like a really good arena card, which again, it's not like we say that like derisively sometimes. It's like, oh, well, it's going to be a good. It felt like a really good arena card. Giving it another health and making it stickier is very much relevant in arena. But for constructed play, nah, dog. I don't think so. You can't even play it in
a couple arena runs today with Protoss, and
ooh, look at you go!
Yeah, I drafted this card, and it was fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Like,
what class?
So I think I did 2 mage and
Mage
one.
Is busted.
Yeah, mage is good. And one. It was a Zerg class Death Knight. I think
Death
I did
Knight's
one
busted
Death Knight.
too. All right, yeah, you got the 2 of the good classes. 2 of the good classes. Though I don't know, we had some arena updates, so I'm not 100% sure what the best classes are, but those still seem strong to me when I play.
Absolutely, it was fun. Well, speaking of arena updates, you absolutely can.
Okay, so the following cards have been removed from the draft pool for different reasons. Piranha Swarmer, because it sucks. Volatile Skeleton, probably because it sucks. Sinstone Totem, probably because it sucks. Karrakin Queen of Blades, the exact opposite. This is one of the best cards.
So good.
This is one of the best cards to draft in Arena. I'm a little sad to see that she's not draftable, but I'm pretty sure you can still generate her in ways. I forget exactly how. I think you can probably get one off the pirate that gives you a card from the current expansion if you're a Zerg class. So there are still ways that you can finagle it to go get her. It's like a resort consort.
I played it a couple times today, even.
It's a good card. It's a 4-mana 3/5.
Titles, so I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah. I mean, your guess is as good as mine at this point. It's a 4-mana 3/5.
3/5.
The following cards will now appear less frequently in draft pools because they're busted. Assimilate Blight, which had a very good chance of hitting Infester. Horizon's Edge, which is busted. Tide Pools, which is busted. Nightcloak Sanctum, busted. Collateral damage was like the finisher for Hunter. So like you'd get really close with Hunter and like not work that hard, and then an opponent would have like 3 little tiny minions, and collateral damage would deal 18 from hand. It was brutal. And Patchwork Pals. Ooh, that might actually kill Hunter. That's actually kind of brutal. I hadn't noticed that. The Patchwork Pals is like one of the best cards in Arena. Following cards will now appear more frequently in draft pools. High Templar, Dark Templar, I think that's kind of a buff to Rogue. Starship Schematic, buff to Rogue. Arcanite Defense Crystal, just a good card. Yep. Lurker, I hardly know her. Starport in Warrior and Paladin. Liftoff in Warrior and Paladin. Just got buffs to Warrior and Paladin, looks like. Mostly the Starship stuff was just seeing play in Shaman. Flash Sale, sure. Salvage Bunker, Mothership, sure. Ultralisk Cavern is actually a big one. That card was already one of the higher win rate cards in Warlock, so that being around more frequently, I'm interested to see if that is going to push Warlock a little more. Fellfire Thrusters, that's unfortunate. Bad Omen, Boom Wrench, Yamato Cannon's good. Carrier's really good. Construct Pylons is pretty good. I don't know what the Cloak Field does. Nice. Astral Phaser. I could make the same joke again. Starlight Reactor, Cosmic Phenomenon, and Immortal. I think those are all largely irrelevant, other than just like let's make Druid more starshipy. Okay, great. That's the lightning round of like why the changes were made, I think. And if I got any of them wrong, I'm not really an Arena main. I'm just Arena curious.
Hey, me too. I've been dabbling in an Arena. I have been looking at no guides. I've just been doing stuff on my phone. I can't see any of the titles, but I'm having a blast.
Yeah, you're looking at the pretty pictures, and the pretty pictures are important. And you know what? You probably, if you play Wild, you don't see enough of those pretty pictures, which is where our discussion topic sort of comes in.
Yeah, and quick note, I can see the titles in the deck list, and I can see the text there. I just can't see the titles on the cards. So
gotcha.
It's not just that I know what they do. I can read what they do. But I don't know what half of those cards are.
Yeah, true. So
it's not my fault.
One of the discussion topic that we decided on tonight was I saw a funny tweet from HS Top Decks. I think we might have even talked about it the last time we were on the pod, where it's just like, where are all the Wild decks that have new cards in them? And then like the responses were all kind of snarky. So what I've done is I kind of looked through, and having done some play testing and done some viewer deck requests, and even did like a little survivor looking at, send me a Wild deck with new cards in it, and then playing the new cards. We have a little deck roundup for some of the Wild decks that are the best that we can muster that actually use new cards in them. First one is a doozy. It actually got early rank 1 legend in China. They named it mid-range Zerg Hunter, but I don't know if you can call it a Zerg Hunter if it literally has 4 Zerg cards in it. It's using 2 of the spawning pools. Is a Nidus Worm? You wouldn't know because you don't usually see the title of the cards. The 3 mana draw 2 Zerg cards, and Kerrigan, because Kerrigan Bastado, right? And so, it's basically a Discover Hunter shell. To describe it, it's a Discover Hunter shell with some Wild Seeds thrown in there, with a couple of Trial of Jamungers. So you've got Dreadscale, you've got Acid Maw, you've got these Serpent Blooms in there. And then you also have like the tokeny package that's around in Standard, where you've got the Observer of Myths, and then the token spells like Patchwork Pals and RC Rampage and Sneaky Snakes. Yeah, like it's all familiar stuff. And then it's sort of filled out by the fact that it's Renathal. We've got Tavish, we've got Zehi, we've got Tundra Rhino, and our ETC is Flare, Smothering Starfish, and the Ceaseless Expanse. It's a really, really cool deck because so many different little packages are coming together and finding little synergies. Like, for example, you really don't want to draw your Jermungers if you're running Trial of the Jermungers, right? So, like, you're running 2 patches in deck. But let's say you have a copy of Acid Maw. Thanks to spawning pools, and sending the little Zerglings with Rush. The little Zerglings with Rush and Acid Maw, best friends for life. It's a really cool way to clear a board. And it does give a little bit more credence to like, maybe I don't pick maybe I don't pick Dreadscale off of my selective breeder. Maybe I pick Acid Maw instead. And that's just like, those little decisions are really cute. You're still discovering a lot of cards. You're still playing, alien encounters. But now your alien encounters can get charged with Tundra Rhino. Wild Seeds. We're not playing Erelon, the bad Wild Seed card, but we're playing the one that makes them wake up a turn early. What was that? The Wild Spirits. We're playing Wild Spirits. And we're also playing a couple others. We're playing Spirit Poacher. Playing any more? I guess those two. I don't know. Tundra Rhino on those suckers is pretty cool. Like, I think the weakest card in this list is probably Lotheb. You're like, all right, Schmoopy, why isn't it Zihi? Well, we've got things like Hope of Kael'thas, we've got Tavish, we've got Kerrigan. We kind of want to stay around 5 to 7 mana forever because our 5 to 7 mana cards are way higher quality than whatever our opponent is playing. So you kind of out-tempo your opponent, and then you drop Zihi, and it's like, okay, now you're going to relive the experience of me out-tempoing you turn 5 through 7 all over again, and probably can't afford an expensive clear. In the past, that'd be Reno Lone Ranger. Now it's like, I don't know what it would be, but like Zihi works in this list, and so I will defend Zihi to the death in this list. But it's really cool. I love this deck. I play this a lot offline. I know my buddy Neon Heron took it to Legend. I would highly suggest anybody trying it because Jormunger's Hunter is actually a small, very small sample size deck that Donkey himself even came to Discord to be like, is this a real deck? It has like tier 1 stats at like 0.1% play rate. This list going out, me playing around with it, I think it's probably a sleeper tier 2 deck, sleeper high tier 2. That's like good enough. Like it can beat up on Libram Pallies, it can beat up on aggro. The one thing it kind of doesn't like is like combo druid. So like really cool deck, playing new cards in a prominent way. What do you think, Sheep?
I wonder if the Zihi may slightly help the combo druid matchup too. Note I said slightly. Like obviously it's a one of in a Renathal deck, and you would have to play it like very strategically timed. So
you're saving your coin.
Right. Saving your coin and having to like hope to get there.
Romath getting out is what Azalea Kari says in chat. That's another very relevant point. Like there are some bombs late game that like Holy Wrath might want to get to 9 mana. Oops, nope, you're not getting to your 9 mana because I'm going to drop Zihi now. Like there are some real like pressure points where resetting the mana is actually relevant in the meta. So like that part's cute.
I wonder which one we would want to have at the end of the day, because we run 2 hero cards. We run Beastmaster Tavish and Kerrigan Queen of Blades. At the end of the day, we probably just play whichever one we get because both of those hero powers are like both better than
I think Tavish is getting cut from a lot of lists, so it's probably Kerrigan. Keep in mind too that Kerrigan plus Acid Maw is a beating. Like that is like really gross. Because like let's say they have like a lot of bodies out and they're like, all right, well you got a lot of Zergs out, but we've got a lot of bodies out. And then you drop Acid Maw on hero power, and it's like, well, you're stopping some of this damage, but a lot of it's going to go through. And that's a lot of fun, too, to watch that happen. Especially if you're randomly generating Hydralisks behind it. So, like, you end up playing more Zerg cards than it looks, even though it's only, like, 4 Zerg cards, just because Kerrigan's busted. But, like, it's fun.
Yeah, buddy. What is next on our agenda?
I forget what I gave you next. I think
it is Protoss Hostage next.
Yeah, I call it Protoss Hostage because it has basically the hostage shell she shells by the seashore. I didn't even say it right there. But nope, not even close. It's not taking you hostage, but you use the hostage shell to buy a whole lot of time, play some Protoss spells, and then then with the Colossus, there we go, with the Colossi. What's kind of cute about this is in Wild we have Bran, And in Wild, we have Potion of Illusion. So, like, the top end for the damage of this deck is actually kind of disgusting. On the flip side, though, it loses to Ice Block. So that's why in the ETC, we run Tight-Lipped Witness. And I think I got this list from Superbased, ? In my chat. And I think he did a pretty good job of basically distilling down the cards we like a lot versus the cards that we just sort of tolerate in Hostage Mage. And then we fit in the Protoss package, which, like, you know, Chrono Boost is surprisingly good. I'm surprised
Is that
in
the
how many...
draw one with the 3/4?
Yeah, it's like, it's the... Cool. Yeah, exactly. It's like the draw 2 with the 3/4. And
or draw
what's kind
2,
of...
yeah.
It's
Sorry,
Protoss cards, and what's kind of a...
The draw card. Sorry, that's what the one was referring
to. Yeah. I call it like Protoss Arcane Intellect, and somebody corrected. It's like, actually, it's a worse Dubious Purchase, but Dubious Purchase is busted, so like it's only like slightly less busted. I'm surprised at how relevant the chargers are, like 90% of the time. Like the extra board presence or the extra chip damage is actually really, really strong, which is something I did not consider when I looked at the card. But yeah, no, like especially like with Shield Battery, if you can do like Shield Battery into Shield Battery into Shield Battery into Shield Battery, which you're capable of with like, you know, Commander Shavara or the Tidepool Pupils into Rewinds, into more Rewinds, into more Shield Batteries. You can kind of get a lot of armor pretty quickly, and we're still running Sleet Skaters and stuff. So like, you can still do some really disgusting things in Mage, but have like a more of a Mimi finish. But again, the top end of this, damage-wise, is, like, gross. I think the first time I played it, I played Bran and 2 Colossuses that were... I think they were juiced up to 13? I think? And, like, I blew up a dude through a Bulwark. Like, it was unhinged. It was unhinged. Like, the Bulwark was already chipped down, but it was still, like, it was like a warrior with 1 tick on a Bulwark and 70 health. And I was like, all right, well... They died, though.
It's a higher number than I have fingers for. So...
But yeah, I mean, fingers and toes. I have to take off my socks and stream sometimes if I'm to make sure I get lethal right. But you know what? It's just sometimes you just throw it out there and it's just a lot of damage. So, and it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this might be the one that I sleeve up for like my proper climb, because a lot of the things on here resonate with me. Having played a decent amount of Hostage Mage. I'm sorry, I'm part of the problem. I'm not sorry. I am part of the problem.
Don't be sorry. Never be sorry. You're part of the problem. Yeah.
But it also has a lot of the like fun new Protoss cards, which, like I was talking about all the arena I've been playing today, like a lot of those are the Protoss Mage cards. So that kind of scratches an itch that I've very recently been enjoying scratching. So this may be at least the first one that I sleeve up for my climb.
It's enough. It's like enough new cards that it feels like a different deck. Is I think a good way to describe it. Like it's like, yeah, you're doing a lot of the same things. You're hiding behind block as always, but also like you have a fun new win con to sort of go with it that does play different, because a lot of Hostage Mage is hand management. And this is adding cards to hand. This is, you need to draw a lot of your cards. You need to bank up discounts. Like there's a lot that goes into, getting the Colossus combo down. So it's putting together a different win con. Obviously worse than normal Hostage Mage, but like very playable. You can play this to Legend for sure.
That's kind of my sweet spot in decks. So like this one resonating with me should not surprise anybody.
Yeah, cheap candy. Yep.
Bait is delicious. Well, next on the list is OTZ 6 & 0, which is our druid.
Yeah, this is the questline druid that I played to that one Survivor. It did not lose a game when I played it during Survivor. I didn't play against real decks all the time, so I was just like, we'll see how this goes. I changed one card. He used to have Dirty Rat in the Smothering Starfish slot, and so I was like, well, one of the things that we don't like is Taunt, especially Velen, because there's a lot of Velen Serenite Chain Gang still running around, because it's a good package. It beats Libram Paladin a lot of times if they don't have tech for it. So let's tech for it, because, questline druid in and of itself is always going to be a very polarizing deck. So, like, teching for your bad matchups is good. The other ETC card is Tight-Lipped Witness. Ice Block needs no introduction. And Hearthstone Brew, because sometimes with Questline Druid, your hand is all totally gassed out, and Hearthstone Brew is nothing if not gas. So that's a lot of fun. We only run 5 Protoss cards in it. We run Construct Pylons. We run Chrono Boosts, and we run Artanis. And now that the cats have buffed up Artanis, I know we've talked about this deck on the pod before. I've actually tried to climb to 11x with it. I was going like 50-50, right about rank 1000, which I think what ultimately was only like 100 ranks off. Libram Paladin is tough, but not completely unwinnable because we have rakes, but also we have board presence that can trade into the 2 taunts that they run. So as long as they don't buff the 2 taunts that they run into ungodly sizes, we have a chance of beating them. You absolutely slap priests around. There's nothing they can do because you're just generating armor and bigger things than they can handle. And you're going face. And the whole Protoss package draws itself, which is really the most attractive part of it. It's like you construct pylons into Chrono Boost, which gets you construct pylons into Chrono Boost, or like you gets, construct pylons into Artanis on 5. Like it's just kind of just gross. Added to the fact that cool cats now, also in text, reflect the fact that the hero power is getting buffed, not just in effect, but the effect is gross as well. And not for nothing, I didn't expect this. The Holy Wrath matchup is actually not the worst.
Huh.
Because you're constantly making a Divine Shield on your face. So they need a way to pop the Divine Shield in order for them to not die. And so, like, you're going face and you're dropping taunts and you're dropping rushers and you're dropping board presence. And the Holy Wrath Paladin, which is usually sort of sitting back to, like, pop you in the face with 100 damage, can't, like... They're kind of like looking for their opportunity, and their best opportunity is to equip Cariel and hit you with their weapon, but they can't always do that, and they're not always running Cariel. So like it's kind of funny how you can kind of get there against that deck. And other weird matchups like Kingsbane Rogue is free because not that you see a lot of Kingsbanes, but like all of a sudden they're like, how do I kill you? You have a divine shield on your face and you keep gaining armor. Like it's very funny, like face racing a Kingsbane with this deck. Like there's some really silly matchups. Good deck, definitely legend viable, and less polarized than I expected it to be, but also still like you're gonna lose some games on queue just because it's Questline Druid, and that's just the nature of Questline Druid.
Yeah. If I end up stumbling or tilting on the Protostage mage, then this is probably what I'll switch to.
You've played enough Twist. You've played this game, this deck enough that like we like this is like putting on a glove, and like but like some of the cards actually draw themselves, which is this deck is often like kind of struggled with resources if you're not running the side quests and stuff like that. And so the fact that there's more draw and filtering in the deck is a big bonus.
And I think what this deck highlights is what I really like best about our mode of Wild, to be completely honest. We've got the comfort thing that like, okay, I know how to play this. I've done this a million times with the hero power, the quest line Druid. And then we got the new fun stuff that we can just like completely turn some matchups on their head. Like that. This is what Wild is about.
100%. The deck feels different. The deck feels completely different than what it used to. As again, it gets like it gets a big boost from this.
Yeah, buddy. Well, rounding out our roundup before we go into a bit of an interactive exercise is this Death Knight. So we've got Copper DK.
Yeah, this is what Copper Scum was playing very early on. Somebody I know in Martian's Discord hit Legend, I think, on 2 servers with it. Essentially looking at a bunch of Zerg cards, plays like Zerg DK, Adds in Renathal because Renathal's kind of busted for this particular comp. It does the Viper stuff. If you like the Viper stuff, it's running Brood Queens. We still have, wild cards like Construct Quarter, which are great early tempo that Standard doesn't necessarily have access to. And he was running the Plague package to kind of grief, any of the Highlander decks that he was playing against. What's kind of cool is it's an aggro deck, but also we're running Airlock Breach, Kerrigan, and Reska. So like we've got a little bit of, we're more mid-rangey. It's like another example of like wild going mid-range, where we can dump on the Shadow Priests and we can kind of go even with the Libram Paladins. I forget if he liked Libram Paladin with this or not. He might not have liked Libram Paladin, but you can scam some decks with this. I probably believe in this deck the least because I don't know if he's touched or refined it ever since. And even if he had, and even if it's good, if you ask Copper Scum if this deck is any good, he'd say it's completely unplayable because that's just Copper Scum for you. He thinks everything he plays is unplayable. So like, I don't quite know where to put it, but like this is like, if you want to play as many new cards as possible in a package, this is what Copper played and played to good effect. And I've heard it's legend viable as recently as this month. So give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot of things that I'd like change. I know it's greedy, but I like to run Eliza in like Standard and Wild, and every time I'm playing more
She's in there.
Tokeny. Yeah. No, I'm validating that. Like, I wouldn't even change that. Like, there are a lot of people who disagree with me on that, and I wouldn't change that. Maybe Polkilt is the only one that's kind of sus, and even then, that gets you Reska, that gets you Kerrigan, then that gets you your Airlock Breaches. So, like, that's
you're like, basically stabilizing at that point. Yeah.
That's exactly what we want. So list looks pretty tight, which is hard to say for a like Renathal deck. I mean, maybe patches. Like what pirates?
We have a couple pirates. We've got the Brittlebone. What's its face? The 2-drop. That's a 1/4. Yeah. You've got the Houndy Boy Deluxe, the 2/2 with Rush. I think, and then you've got Eliza. Eliza's also a pirate, I believe. So you've got 5 pirates, so you can drag Patches out there. Patches is great with Death Growl. I think is a big point. Is like it's yet another token that you could slap a Death Growl on. And weirdly enough, I never thought we'd see this day where we're actually building a DK deck around Death Growl. In the past, whenever I saw a Death Growl deck, I was like, guys, you cannot build around Death Growl because you're never tutoring it. And you're never consistently getting something down where the Death Growl actually matters. Here, as Copper has brought up, you've got Infester is a good hit. You've got Eliza is a good hit. You've got Reska is a good hit. The Reska point actually sells me on this because I'm a Reska hater. I do not like Reska in wild decks. But with Libram Paladin being around, Reska makes more sense. Because I'm like, what big stuff are we stealing in wild? Stealing Libram Paladin minions, idiot. So that's who we
You're stealing
about.
Big Shaman minions, idiot.
Big Shaman Big Shaman is not a matchup that's worth teching against, right? But if you're telling me, but
that's an answer to your question.
But Libram Paladin, you're going to play one every 4 games, so like that makes a lot more sense to me. That makes way more sense to me. And you're still doing the Zerg stuff. So like there's still some nasty Zerg turns where you got the Sporling Barrage or whatever it's called, where it's like the little poppers. Again, you wouldn't know because like he's going to read it right now.
Banling Barrage.
Banling, there you go. Though. The Banling bobbers. The Banling.
I recognized the picture from the tiny.
I know you know how to play the card. But just not sure what the text is, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I would like want at all is the 4-mana card that does a Death Rattle twice, and that's a greedy card.
Oh, Yodeler,
that's just yelling Yodeler. That's the only one that I kind of want. And I mean, that I think is just greedy. That's a want, not a would make it better statement.
I mean, you could probably play it in over the Brood Queens, right? Like, I don't know if the Brood Queens are quite good enough in this list, but they were like new cards, so you play them, and it's a 3.
The Brood Queens, I feel like whenever I was playing and I played it earlier this week too, that odd DK, the Brood Queens were performing way better than I thought that they would. That was early days, so maybe, the meta has changed a bit, but I mean, 3 mana 2/5, like that tends to stay around if you're playing it on curve, like at least twice, even if it's just once. You get the I don't know what it's called. I can't read the titles, but the thing that then morphs every turn, that one. So like if you get 2 of them, great. If you get 1, okay. It ends up taking away some removal. It ends up getting the buff from the infester. I mean, I wouldn't cut the queen. Absolutely.
I'm just saying, if you were looking for a spot, I think that's where you start looking at the flex, right? Like that probably there if we have to make tough calls. Queen's probably there. I don't know. Anyway, this is like the most new cards. If you want to play all the new cards, you want to play some Zerg, you want to do it in Wild, and you need some DK wins. This is where I would go with it.
Yeah, buddy.
Unrelated Advice with Schmoopydady.
Okay, so we were looking for all sorts of different decks, and that featured all of these new cards. And we've got a whole lot of really cool Protoss decks. We've got a whole lot of really cool Zerg decks, but what we don't have is a good Terran deck. And I was like, I want a good Terran deck. And so I started putting one together before the pod, and I was like, oh no, this is not a good Terran deck. So Schmoopydady, can you help me make this not trash?
So it's funny, I talked up the Terran package big time, and it turns out in Standard it is really good. And it's actually really good anti-aggro, especially in Shaman. And I didn't find any Terran lists to share tonight, because the highest win rate list I could find that was running any Terran cards was a Shudderwalk Shaman list on HS Guru. That was basically Shudderwalk Shaman with a bunch of the Starship cards kind of like shoved in there. That had like a nutty 48% win rate. So looking at it, in my experience, the best place to play these cards is actually the correct class that you've picked is Warrior, because you've got different survival tools that you can slot in. And then having done that, we can kind of do like, Terran stuff from there. But oh dear God, let's look at what you've done with the place. We were gonna treat this like a deck doctor. I'm looking. Let me make the stream bigger. Oh God. Okay. Oh, that's okay. So Concussive Shell's good.
Yes.
The first deck that she showed me before he filled out the other 10 cards, I was like, if you sent this to me, I will ban you. It is insane how much trolling we're doing. Get the drone deconstructors out of here. What are we doing?
Hold up.
With this?
Hold up. Let me explain that first, because I do have an answer to that. Because I did reintroduce Dr. Boom Mad Genius. So this is a mech warrior. This is a mech warrior.
I'm without words.
And this is a mech warrior because so many of the Starship things that we got are mechs, either generating mechs, so like SCV is a mech, like we'll get back to that. All of the Starship pieces from the starport are mechs. The liftoff is a mech. The Yamato cannon is a mech. We're bringing mechs back with a hydration station. I did not put in the Dr. Boom that slings 2 mechs at stuff that Standard's doing.
I would not do that.
I did not put that in. No, I agreed. I agreed.
Okay, fine. All right, let's say okay. Okay. So this is sort of the place where I usually find myself when I'm on my stream, is I'm looking at a brand new deck and I'm questioning my life choices.
Yes.
Let's try to keep the soul of your deck, right? Let's try to keep the soul of your deck without completely gutting it. I think the first card that we have to cut, if we're going to change anything, is let's get Mecha Leaper out of here, man. Mecha Leaper is just not good enough at any stretch of the imagination.
In the theory crafting deck. No, you're right.
I like that.
That's
right?
why
That's
I put
like
it in there.
That's one of the first ones that we check out of here. Now, what is better? This is gonna sound mental. Well, what are we trying to beat with this? Are we trying to beat other aggro? Are we trying to beat Librams? If we're trying to beat Librams, I don't think we ever beat Librams. Because I think if we're going like token mech, it's just not good enough. We might, with a hope and a prayer, get lucky and like beat a Shadow Priest on tempo. But like that's asking a lot. We have to draw well. They have to not. Speaking of draw, there's a lot of mechs in here that have dual classes, right? Am I wrong with that? Or are they all just mechs?
That have dual... Oh, dual...
They're all mechs, right? No. Okay,
yeah,
they're all just mechs. I'm trying to think, like... I just wouldn't do an aggro mech. I want to make this more control. And doing stuff like...
And that's how I started.
Right. So, like, if we want to keep it token... Which I would never keep a token. If we want to keep a token, I feel like we're almost stuck trying to find more ways to draw cards so that we're not running out of gas, or we're putting in Mech Warper. And either of those options terrify me. So let's look at draw for a second. So, like... God, are we ever doing, like... Ew, sheep, you've set me up. Yeah, Needle Rock Totem is like insta. We put in Needle Rock Totem. If we start doing Needle Rock Totem stuff, go ahead, put 2 of those suckers in there. If we start doing Needle Rock Totem stuff, I almost wanted to do Applause at one point. All You Can Eat is probably fine. Yes, right in front of you. Yeah, those. Yep, no, we know. We're good. The Tortolan Travelers, do they have any...
They don't have a minion.
They don't
type,
have a
no.
type. I think we get rid of the Furious Furnaces. Let's dump the Furious Furnaces. I don't think those... I know.
So sad.
I'm sorry. Yeah, get rid of those. I don't think those are good enough, even for like a token deck. We have one Garrosh's Gift, which is ominously staring at me. All right, let's keep going. Let's look at other... Yeah, you're going to put the other gift. Well...
You have to remember you're behind, so I've already done that, and
oh God, okay, got you. Why don't we? Do we run any weapons? Are there any weapons we want to run?
Let's see. So we've got not. What we really
friends don't
want
let friends do Rye Cleaver. Go right past the Rye Cleaver. Friends do not let friends play Rye. I'm on a stream delay, and I'm mentioning Rye Cleaver before you say Rye Cleaver.
And I've already pulled it up, and I've already gone away by the time you finish it. Yep.
I was trying to think, Outrider's Axe is tempting because it's more draw.
Yeah.
I was only trying to look at weapons because I'm trying to think of ways to get as much all you can eat value. I don't really like Boom Wrench. I'm not like, what's our death rattle? Do we have any death rattles?
We do. we've got the Arcanite Defense Crystal, which we are going to be bringing back a few times. We've got our Tortolan Traveler. That's not a mech. The Arcanite Defense Crystal, when you have a mech in the starship, you activate the starship, then it is a mech. While the Defense Crystal itself is not, it will be.
I would almost consider, how do you feel about doing like 2 N'Zoth's First Mates, 2 Outriders Axes?
First Mate and Axe of the Outrider variety. There we go. Okay.
Sure, so that we get draw. And then one of the mechs we can add is the Mech Pirate. I forget what it's called. Hook Tusk something or like Hook something.
So it's not Hook Tusk. Hook Fist 3000. After your hero attacks, gain 4 armor and draw a card.
All right, so we were throwing that in there. Things we can get rid of. I'm basically building around all you can eat. Let's get rid of the gifts. The gifts are bad.
Where'd it go? Garrosh's gift. Okay.
I think we get rid of the gifts. I think the hydration station is giga greedy.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm realizing now this section is probably hell for listeners at home. We're looking at basically Sheep. Sheep gave me a tokeny sort of mechy bottom half and then sort of a very small middle half of 3s and 4s into double hydration station and a Ziliax and Jim Raynor at the end. Let's cut the hydration station as well. Because we just don't make enough taunts that it's going to be relevant. And we want to go tokeny, right? If we're going to go tokeny, we do not need this many top ends. We need 3 more cards to cut. Let's cut Ham and the New Heights.
Accelerator?
No, we don't cut that. That's
so if we cut Ham, we're of course cutting New Heights, which okay. We are also cutting the Tortolan Traveler, which is fine. But then we
might
probably
be okay
want to
with
cut
that.
Ziliax too.
I agree. I think I'm okay with that. I think I can live with that. Get rid of those.
Get rid of that whole package.
Cool. Get rid of that. Okay, so now that gives us 3 cards. So now our all you can eat is our all you can eat the only spell we're playing right now?
No, because we also run the other 3-mana Liftoff, but those are the only 2.
How do you feel about a couple of Steam Guardians? So now we have like draw getting draw. None of them are fire spells.
It goes both ways too.
Yeah, none of them are fire spells. And I think if we're also doing that, let's cut 1 more minion. Are the SCVs mechs?
Yeah.
They are mechs. Let's cut a rover because it's not a new card. Let's cut an Eternium rover.
Okay.
If we cut an Eternium rover, we can also run 2 applauses now. Or maybe we should cut something greedier. Ideally, I would actually cut the Dr. Boom Mad Genius, but I know you really want to keep the Dr. Boom Mad Genius. So this is...
I put it in there for you to cut, but that's okay.
wait. Skaterbot. Let's get rid of a Skaterbot. Put Rover back in there. Rover, you're back in, buddy. We need things with big butts to stick around so that we can applause on time. So this
Was I only running the one? Anyway?
No, you're running 2 Skater Bots. Get rid of a Skater Bot and throw in an Eternium Rover.
Oh, duh.
So what I'm basically
shifted
looking
because
at,
of the scroll. There we go.
I'm okay with 1 Skater Bot, but actually, if we want, we can put a. You want to put in one more. Let's put in Magatha. Is Magatha good enough in this deck? Probably. So what I'm basically thinking about here when I'm building this deck, if we're going to build a deck like this, what's one of the best things that Warrior does? Warrior draws things in the Amalgam package, right? And not only does it draw things in the Amalgam package, but then, okay, we have enough smaller things that draw things. We have a lot of draw redundancy. Oh, the concussive shells. Let's get rid of the concussive shells.
Oh.
That lets us put Skaterbot back in, and then one more minion of your choice.
So I did cut both Skaterbots. We
Put both of them back in then.
Both of them back. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so now looks like something where if my stuff is sticking, stuff is drawing stuff, I've got a weapon always equipped because I've got N'Zoth's First Mates. Oh, we need patches. Cut a Skaterbot for patches. We've got the Hook Fist. So the Hook Fist, we're getting Hook Fist value. That is a signature patches. That's going to make me throw up. We've got Applause for all the different tribes we've got on there. We've got all you can eat to go get those tribes. We've got the Steam Guardian that, whether we like it or not, is always going to be getting us draw. And also we still have, through SCV, a couple ways where we can play some Terran cards and we can do some Starshipy stuff. This is something I'd play on stream, probably queue into something, probably explode, but I'd give it a shot at least. It's a little bit more coherent than the original list that was like, let me do late game and early game and no mid game and also never draw a card in our lives.
Uh-huh. That was the idea. I wanted to give you something to actually, fix, so...
I did the best I could, chat. No, I'm not playing this pile. Oh, God, don't release the code.
I mean, you know that's how you get me to release the code, right?
No. Release. No. Don't make me. People will request me to play this. No. It's in chat.
Yes, and will, of course, also be in the show notes and on the Born to Be Wild Discord.
Unable
So
to delete
Schmoopy.
message. Darn it.
Now that we have done the creation, we're, if you are amenable, going to do something we haven't done in a long time. Would you like to have a play portion?
All right, let's play this pile.
All right. Let's go.
If I don't have to do it, yay. Brand
Insta-queue.
spanking new.
And I am going to share my screen on here because the co-oping with that.
Yeah,
would be,
unless
much
you want
more
me
difficult.
to spectate, and that's a little hard.
Yeah, this will probably be the path of least resistance. The one called Hearthstone. Right here. Boop.
All right.
Okay. Awesome. Great. Perfect. No notes.
I'd get rid of one of the SCVs.
Yeah, fair.
I want to get my draw cards. I want to get. Yeah, there's one of my draw cards. It's a 4-mana weapon, but I can hit people in the face with it.
Yeah, I can. So, of course, we want to start out with the 1/3. We want to start out with the Turnium Rover, right? Because we're playing against a Demon Hunter, and then they're going to probably in early game have small stuff.
Doubt it, unless they're Pirate
Fingers
DH.
crossed.
They're probably, if I'm completely honest, Questline.
Yeah, they didn't mulligan their leftmost card.
Probably
so
Questline, which
is
means that
likely.
we're going to have to be the beatdown. Yep, Questline.
Yep.
Lovely.
We are the beatdown.
We are the beatdown. I would.
I don't think that changes anything, though. We still just play a
Okay,
1/3.
yeah, you could fine. That's fine. You could do that. DH has silence too. Let's not forget that. Heaven's Door, you hush your mouth. You hush your mouth right now. You don't speak that into being. Gosh darn it.
Keeping that in mind in the immediate and not mentioning it later when we should actually be keeping it in mind then too. It's still a good thing.
Shut up. Don't speak it into being.
Right?
did I-
Maybe not mergling is funny.
Wait, I didn't Murgle? Did I slip already?
I don't think so.
Revert to character?
I think
Okay,
I think
good.
that it's the fact that you're not cursing is what's
I'm
funny.
trying really hard. It's taking a lot of effort.
Taunt.
Taunt is cheat.
Yeah, not right now though. Right? Like, you
That's
just
fine,
want to get
yeah.
hard. Yeah.
We might coin out the Yamato cannon if we see a big idiot.
Right?
That's so stupid.
As it is, I'm probably just going to tempo Renathal.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm not against like coining the axe if we get something small to swing into.
Yeah. If there's something that gives us draw, then I absolutely agree. Maybe. They don't trade it. Did they not outcast it? I didn't see.
I didn't
wasn't
see,
paying
but you
attention.
might play it. You might play it anyway in their case, just to
Well,
You might play it anyway, just in their case, just to have it discount the Whoppers, the Whompers. Honestly, getting the mana burn out now when it's not. Oh, okay, never mind. I was like, when it's not a super critical turn, it does block us from Yamato cannoning. Do we ever coin the Galvanizer, or is that just stupid?
I think with only hitting 2, it would probably not be worth. But otherwise, am I just playing the Spark Bot? In which case, I may as well coin out the Galvanizer and Spark Bot.
I don't know if it matters a whole lot.
I think I might just full pass.
Sure, I guess.
Right?
I hope they don't. I would at least throw out the Spark Bot, I think.
Okay.
I think you could just chuck it out there. You don't even have to attach it to anything. I think you just make it a 1/1. Maybe
I
put
think
it
I
on
want
the
to
skid.
attach it to something so that they're not
Okay.
just hero powering or
That's fine, I guess.
like trading patches in.
Yeah. Maybe we get lucky and they trade a bunch of pirates into it and they never find their silences. I'm not super hopeful though.
In that case, I probably should have put it on the SCV to at least spread out the benefits.
Remember when we said we were going to forget about the silences later when we were supposed to be thinking about
immediately.
the silences? I
Yep.
didn't think about it either.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Crunch.
Okay. And we'll be at 2.
Mana burn is cheat, quack.
Agree.
Interesting. I think it's totem and pass.
Yep. Agree.
I wonder if we're
What will
supposed
we
to
get?
fish for starport and stuff in this deck. We kind of need to
Yeah.
get that like early game going where we're getting get the nutty
Starport's
deal
really-
2 AoE into poison off the adapts, like or whatever it's called. You know what I mean?
I think it says adapt.
Wop wop.
Ertinger.
I think we're encountering the reason why I would never make this token. But that would mean that I cut half the deck and probably break Little Sheep's heart. So
I mean, Aggro Druid always struggled against Questline DH too, so
I don't know why necessarily.
I'm not surprised.
Oh man, no! Can we leave? Do I have to stay here?
I mean, if they're going to be roping it out like this,
I
everyone,
wanna-
then like,
They're like, what could a warrior do to me? And the answer is nothing because we cut the control tools.
hey, we've got the Yamato cannon. Thank you
We
very
take care of
much.
one body. Unlucky. Do we galvanize her and try to Jedi mind track them?
Galvanizer, frequency oscillator.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
a dump hand.
Yeah, just
Like,
dump hand. Just do it.
Yeah.
Take a dump. I don't know if that was the right order,
I don't know.
but it doesn't. Don't think it really matters. It doesn't matter a jot.
No. Second best one? Yeah. Yeah, we got this.
We do not have this. Okay, we're gonna leave.
We'll play a second game. That is how many games we will play. 2.
Okay.
Because that 2 is parity. It's not less than 2 and it's not more than 2. It's less trash. Exactly 2. It's parity. It's parody. Parity. Because this deck is a parody. Parody.
Chad, I would have banned sheep by now. All that time on this cook. It's been a disaster. Okay, well, maybe we can get a deck we can
That
win
was
against.
the idea, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. All right, Shadow Priest. We've got the Eternium Rover. We've got the Arcanite Defense Crystal. I would kick out the Skater Bot and hope that I
would
get
too.
something to make my Defense Crystal cheaper or something. Starport. We're hoping for Starport. Starport me dude. Starport me dude. Liftoff is close.
Liftoff could get a starport. Not on 2, but still.
Can you imagine if we beat a Shadow Priest with this? I think it could happen.
Yes.
Oh,
I think it could too.
Whoa. Let cook. Wait.
That's
We might be okay. Wait. Oh, no, we're not okay. They're going to be like, oh, they're boar priest.
it's
We died.
pig priest.
We died. Unlucky.
I just ripped the plus.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Always.
Every time draw 2. Oh,
No. Oh, you didn't mute him. Oh, I'm going to get tilted now.
Okay, now I've muted them. I thought I turned on. There we
I think
go.
we either lift off or we timeline accelerator.
I think I kind of want to lift off because I want the new stuff. Like, regardless of what the best play is, I think that's why I want to do
best
that.
play is timeline accelerator so that we get board presence. That being said, I'm okay with you doing lift off for the new stuff.
That said, we are trying to show that we can win games if we with
in theory.
less than stellar
In flip
decks, right?
Oh, maybe it's Starship Priest.
Could be.
That looks like a Starship.
Yeah, because
Priest
that's from
card.
Visions. Yeah.
They healed for 2. They didn't draw a boar, so they probably drew a Starship.
Yeah.
Let cook.
Yeah?
Could be the mirror.
Okay.
Starshipy
Okay.
mirror. How do you feel like about
Okay.
timeline? And depending on what we get, maybe we lift off after that.
Agreed.
Okay. We could play the 0 mana little boy, and we could drop our Arcanite Defense Crystal right now.
Ooh.
That's an option, right?
It's not a mech. We
Oh, I'm
cannot.
stupid. Oh, well, we could
I'm
drop
stupid.
Yamato.
I'm sheep.
We could use SCV.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely
Back.
SCV.
There we go.
I did want to get our draw in so that we
Yeah,
can.
there we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
looks good. Looks good. I approve. Yes. Okay, we have a chance,
Yes.
chat. We have a chance.
Okay, so I definitely
Do we-
want to N'Zoth's first mate. So
Do
I
you
want to
wanna trade
trade
and pull
one
patches?
first.
Weapons prime.
And I want to trade with not a starship so that I actually make the board space.
Fly party.
And Yahar.
You run out of a ring?
And
I would
now
do
I'm gonna
that, yeah.
double trade so that I can drop the Arcanite Defense Crystal, put it on
I
the
should have
right,
gotten
so
the signature Arcanite Defense Crystals when I had a chance.
oh, they're so pretty. They're so pretty.
It's so pretty. Oh, so pretty. Round patches alert. Get it off the screen. Get it off the screen. Get rid of it.
Yes,
We're
sir.
dead, sheep. I think we might be dead already. Oh, I wish we had one more board space. Do you want to all you can eat anyway?
Yes.
I hate to say this, but are we ever running Kill Jaden in this pile? Probably never. No, we're never doing
If we
that.
do, then we would run it in like ETC.
Yeah.
And we play like Tight-Lip Witness. And I don't know. Ziliax. Can Ziliax go in ETC? I can't remember.
No, I don't know if it can. I don't think it can. Maybe it can. No, I don't think it can.
Well, we're gonna
Hook?
draw a few.
Hooky?
We're gonna draw a couple.
Hooky? Maybe a drone? A little drone as a treat?
Well, I'm gonna double hook and swing
Ooh.
first, but yeah. I mean, I'm gonna dump in the oscillator first, but
Armament upgrade complete. Armament upgrade complete.
so that we draw, and then almost certainly the drone deconstructor, but
Okay.
proper order. Boom.
What do you want to do about the Starship? How soon do you want to launch it? Right now, what does it do? Just give us 7 armor?
Just gives 7 armor, and then with the death rattle, gain 6 armor because of the
Got you.
Arcanite
Okay,
defense
so we got like 13 going. I think our Outrider's Axe is going to get some use.
I think you're right. So I think.
Do we want to draw 2 or do we want to draw 3?
Kind of want to draw 3.
Okay.
I also kind of want to double. Well, single trade here. Swing with my axe to draw 3. Drop the cannon. Ship base.
We have a lot of draw, don't we?
Yeah. We may not have wanted to draw 3.
That's okay.
We've only got 9 cards in our hand. It's fine. Why did we burn the galvanizer then? We
You
only
dropped
have
the
9
Yamato
cards.
cannon. You dropped the Yamato
Oh,
cannon.
I dropped the Yamato cannon after. Hey, neat. Good job, me. No. So they're just doing that for forever. Yamato
wanna-
cannon.
Do you want to
I
trade
guess we
off?
could
The,
just
I was going to
poison.
say, do you want to double, like... Oh.
That
Maybe we save the
there.
poisonous. Maybe we save the poisonous for when they make a giant starship.
Fair.
How do you
Which
feel
case-
about dropping 1 Yamato cannon and then trading off into the other starship? And then maybe
To get
even
our
getting the
draw.
Yamato cannon dead so that it's in the...
Yeah, just go ahead and
Yeah.
because we don't really
you-
need the draw.
Do you want a starport? Or... Yeah, I'll let you finish out the turn. I'm not sure where to go with this.
Yeah,
But I know, like, if I
probably
keep
should have
trying to talk
galvanized
through
it
it.
first, but and then yeah, I do want a starport because I just kind of want to dump hand
Yeah.
more than anything else.
Ready for dust off.
And board locking, it's fine. Right now it's an 8/8. What are we worried about? Psychic Scream? Not really.
I wouldn't launch it right now because it's got the Yamato cannon in it. I'm counting that as a premium card into
Yeah.
a deck that's going to make infinite gigantic things. They do run, if they are running the Jamba Juice list, they're running Ceaseless Expanse, which is going to be one of the minions they probably grabbed. They're going to run the Exodar. They're going to run Renathal. I haven't seen anything yet that has told me they're not running essentially the Jamba Juice list. The thing is, though, that I think that they're mistaking is they actually, I think, want to have already launched a ship by now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about trading off the little dinguses and then...
Like that, so that we
yeah, something like that, sure. Maybe not the
So
Deuter one. Maybe not the Deuter one for hand space, for board space issues.
Yeah.
But then no. I was thinking of launching, and like,
I got you.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we get that one in. So we start layering our Yamato cannons.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. And obviously, ship those phase. Do I ever want to just Steam Guardian? I kind
Sure,
of
it's a
want to board
3/3.
lock myself, but yeah, I want the.
I don't know if
want
board
the
locking
damage.
matters in this matchup. I don't think they can punish us for it.
Makes sense. They're just gonna keep on dropping duders.
That's an early expanse. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
They're gonna launch their first starship now? Have not launched their first starship yet. I think that's a mistake.
Still.
Do you want to boom here?
I definitely want to boom here.
We could take
Like-
15 for a couple turns too. I don't
Yeah.
even really care.
No. At
We have
all.
a poisonous rusher. I don't think we need it yet. I don't think we need it. I think
definitely
we
don't
can.
need it.
We could take it a couple of turns. Do you want to? I was gonna say launch that sucker. What's that one for?
Oh yeah. Ugh.
Okay, that's okay.
No, I mean, as in I don't want to trade it in and launch it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't have the mana to do that, but yeah, know what I mean.
How big's their starship now?
It is a 30-40.
Yeah, I would have launched by now if I were them. I would make several medium starships because all their res effects right now are bringing back all Arcanite crystals when they could be bringing back much, much larger men.
Mm-hmm.
How do
And
you
or
feel,
getting much, much larger death
Yeah,
rattles.
how do you feel about like waking up our starship next turn? Maybe if we've got... Do we still have a liftoff in hand?
Yes.
Chuck that out there, see what we get.
Rainer.
So our starship pieces that we end up summoning are all have rush.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
all
want
of the new
to-
ones, at least.
Do you want to starport and then run in all of these little guys and then wake up the
For dust off.
wake it up so that we Yamato cannon? Oh my god, we're gonna have so much board presence. It's fine. We'll just run it all in and then wake it
May
up.
as well.
Unless you want to layer it. Yeah, let's do it. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Oop. And this is why I wanted to play Boom, was really the battle cry. So then once we have Rainer...
Yeah, it's pretty
like,
cool.
Rainer, really the battle cry is what I want.
That
for
doesn't suck
too.
as much as I expected it to. Okay, so they're launching that, and they're doing what with it?
Gaining all of the armor, I'm guessing.
You at
No,
least
they're
think about
trying to
attack.
kill us? I mean, they can't kill us, so...
I think they just got
Like-
spooked by the board presence.
I
Want
think
to
so.
spark bot that thing dead?
Yeah,
That's
I do.
very funny. That's very, very funny. And then we can like drop the Arcanite defense crystal. Start on the next starship. They're way ahead of us in fatigue, by the way, though. We died, I'm pretty sure.
I'm
when
pretty
we
sure
threw
you're
this
right, but it's
matchup.
fun.
But it is very funny. Let's not Raynor now. I think we
No.
Arcanite, and we think about the drone deconstructor, and we see what else we can get.
Definitely want a drone deconstructor.
Is that another poisonous?
It sure
That's
is.
disgusting. That's disgusting. Let's hold that sucker back.
Yeah.
I'd hero power pass. Think about swinging, maybe. Oh, yeah. Renathal's great. Renathal's great. Good call.
Yeah, I'll swing face. We don't need more draw, so...
Also, another thing that they have 4 cards in hand. Like, they're getting to the point where they're
And
going
one
to
of
be
them's
top
the
decking multiple
coin.
turns. One of them is the coin. Yeah, like I think they should be. They should have been doing this a lot sooner. I think,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I concur. It's intact.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. And let's just drop that spark bot.
And we can use that hero power, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Engine screaming.
Cool. More damage.
And of course those are going.
Send them upstairs. Send everything upstairs.
Yeah. And go ahead and just drop that.
Perfect. We don't have any more spells left, right? I think the Steam Guardian is safe to play.
Let's warm you up.
So that's probably another Arcanite defense crystal, if I were to guess.
It's not a boar.
It's not a boar, that's true. Do you want to take that thing out and launch our starship? So that'd be 3 ships that we get. There's a huge low roll, by the way. One of our starships makes infinite marines, and we could absolutely eat sugar
And-
honey iced tea for that.
That is why I was like, oh no. So actively making inefficient trades. Kind of want to just,
I would launch it, yeah.
yeah, launch it. May as well.
And I'd swing with the hook, too. I think every point, we're not hitting anything with our face.
No, that's true. ETC, KJ, Eastless, and yeah, Witness. Yeah, you already addressed that. I saw it, and then I just looked back again. Sorry about that. It's been a while since I've been like doing the like
been a
also
while.
talking to chat actively.
They can generate so much value. I think we're probably cooked. But
I think we are too. But this one was a more interesting game.
the chance. All right, now they're patient. They found their patience, chat. Or I should say,
Should I have?
No,
should I
I don't
just
think so.
Raynor?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we wait.
just
We
chilling?
wait to Jim Raynor because he's gonna make a couple different boards of like 3040s, and we're gonna need to do something about the 3040s.
Oh, and there's the silence too.
The silence is okay.
Or Shard of the
though, I
Naru.
think.
True, because the starships are.
Well, we don't want a Magatha.
No, I think we can cut some draw. I don't think
I
we're
kind of
playing
like all
anymore
the
of this
draw,
deck.
honestly. I think the draw is kind of cool. I think the draw gets really good if we stick in an ETC with KJ, honestly.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, we're drawing stuff through KJ, and that's good.
Then that's great. I wonder what they're gonna get. Oh,
Didn't get
low
what they
roll.
wanted.
So I'm gonna see what I generate. Yep.
Yup. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, that's good. We need that.
Yep. Everything we can get.
We could generate a Mechathune. We can't kill
could.
off a Mechathune.
Alternate
We could
win
generate
con.
one. Alternate win con. Next time we get shooty power, I think we actually legitimately play the totem and then shoot it with our shooty power.
Yeah.
That's a weak play. Do you get a 1-mana copy? Sure.
Okay.
I don't hate
Okay.
hitting one of these crystals, but maybe before we trade into it with an Eternium Rover so we don't draw.
Yeah.
Which, on instinct, I would have done anyway, like a dumb ape.
Oh no.
Do we preserve the health of the Do we just preserve it? Do we let it live and do 6/6 instead? Because we kind of need to get in as much damage as possible. I don't know. I might be right. Like, I'm not sure.
I think you're right, because regardless, this is trading here, right? Like, we
think
don't
so.
have any way to kill that on board. So yeah, I think you're right. I mean, may as well just do that because it gets rid of it. Mechathune alternate win con. Oh, but they have the shard of the Nar, or the gift of the Narus, though.
They do, but I find that less threatening than other things.
Especially because our Mechathune will have Rush.
How do you feel about trading off our 6/5, hero powering and going face with the axe, and then next turn we think about doing Rainer?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Unless you think this is the Rainer turn, but I feel like we should save the Rainer. We should at least see if they stat dump right now. If they stat dump right now and we Rainer, we have at least a good shot of taking care of the Rainer. We probably do use the hero power Discover first.
Yes.
I
think you're right on all counts. We basically shown them that, like, oh, we can't deal with this. So we're kind of baiting out. And they're looking for
Something. Yeah.
I mean, we can afford to chill another turn.
I don't know if we can, because I think we need to apply pressure before they get those ramped up too high.
That makes sense. Okay, generate Mechathune.
Easy. Not quite. Not quite. Is it ever security, Rover?
Yeah?
That's really funny, because the little tokens that it makes also have Rush.
Yeah. All right. Time to rip it.
Yep.
Let's make it count.
Rip it good.
And all our stuff has Rush.
Yeah, that's a
That
battle
has nothing to
cry
rush
switch for the
into.
end of the game. Yeah.
We got the perfect order.
We did.
We got the actual perfect order. All right, now here's the good thing. Our attack scales.
Right. Because of our hero power.
So we could win this if the game goes long enough, in theory. In flippin' oh, you rat.
Never mind.
Okay, we can still get there.
None of these are tearing cards.
We could still get there. It's okay. It's okay. It's we just yeah, it's
We still
fine.
dump the rover.
Yes, and we still make it. We still
We still make a 4-2. But
runs Whirlpool now. So there's a Jamba Juice list. The Whirlpool is actually decent in the deck because you can play it on turn 6 with Love Everlasting up. I'm a little disappointed, Sheep. I actually
I think
tasted the
I'm,
scam on this one.
I know, right? Like, we were so close. I think I'm okay just
Okay.
going, but
I think we
you know
die.
what?
We're
Yeah.
we died.
We're gonna play it out. We're gonna play it out by drawing as many cards and just like,
In a blaze of glory.
yep.
Okay, fair.
think
Totem
we
Applause,
may be
I'm
ahead
pretty
in
sure is
fatigue.
lethal.
I think you're right. We draw 2 or 3 rather.
Well, we got to play every
if
card
I
in
hadn't
this.
hero powered.
That's exciting.
Right? Oh, come on. They're keeping it from being lethal. Now we only draw 2. Well, we'll get back up to 3.
Yeah, I don't know why I ever criticized their play earlier because like they didn't have to be fast. We were just so much slower.
Uh-huh.
Nutty. All right, next time KJ would have actually made this, I think, kind of interesting. At some
think
point,
so
we would have
too.
outscaled the 30-40s. And we would have done it pretty early.
And then we still had all of that draw where if we were running KJ, then that would have been like good and not that. So yeah, I think that may be less trash than it started with, but still be really trash. Hey!
Let's cut Magatha for ETC.
Yeah.
And I think that gets really interesting.
Witness and Expanse was the third one we
Sure.
wanted.
Yeah, perfect. Or do we want the... Yeah.
Even less trash.
Even less trash.
Ah.
Why's your words?
Have never been spoken. And you heard that on
More to be wild.
It's still
I think
trash,
it might
though.
be more trash than it
Yeah,
was
it might-
initially.
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
I think the initial
I-
one was actually better.